Welcome back to Narrow Ground Entertainment. I'm Steve the Unimpressed. That music in this game means that it is morning and the zombies are now slow again, so it's safe to walk around outside. This is 7 Days to Die, Episode 2 of Steve Solos. And today I'm going to go and raid that, what looks like an apartment building. I have not encountered that point of interest in this game before. So this is going to be a little bit new. I might want to make some more arrows before I go over there. Let me see if I have any feathers in my chest that I made. I do have some feathers. I hear some zombies coming. Nope, I hear a zombie coming. One down. Alright, the little red symbols in the lower left-hand corner, the dinner plate and the water droplet. The dinner plate means that my character is hungry, and the water droplet means that he's thirsty. I do have some food in my inventory. I think I drank the water that I had already in the first episode. Unfortunately, I can't make those things myself without a cooking pot. I have a campfire, so I can make a very limited amount of food, but what I can make isn't very good. Ow. And that was my last arrow. That's okay, he's dead now. Let's make some more arrows, since I was just talking about it a minute ago. As soon as I have a better ranged weapon, I will probably move away from using the bow, because the bow is not that great in this version of the game, but for now it's what we have. As I was saying before, what I'm looking for in this building really is a cooking pot, because that will let me prepare the meat that I harvested from that wolf that I killed in the first episode. This game has a lot of jump scare value, so we'll see how well this goes. I'm liable to have a few moments in this, since I'm early in the game and using fairly basic weapons, and this is a large building to raid. I'm liable to have zombies sneak up on me a few times. Door is locked, so first we have to start by breaking that down. Alright, when I broke the door down, I found this pile of rubble behind it and had to break through that too. Which is not that unusual in these points of interest. It looks like part of the wall fell away for whatever reason. Now I'm going to start poking around. I'm going to do that sneaking and relatively slowly, because in the points of interest there are zombies sleeping, typically. There's probably one behind this little shutter door here. Let's find out. Nope, not that time. That's exactly the kind of place where the zombies like to hide. Like that one. took him long enough to go down. When I'm raiding, I tend to clear out, or when I'm raiding smaller buildings rather, I tend to clear out all the zombies before I start looking around for loot. In a building this size, I'm not going to do that. It looks like it's divided into apartment units, which, like in real life, because it should be separate from each other. So I should be able to clear out all the zombies in this apartment. Here's a sleeping one. And I missed. I should be able to clear out most of the zombies in this unit before I start looting. Looks like there's a couple of sleeping ones. That's another one on the floor. If you can get a headshot, usually that will kill a sleeping one immediately. But not always. Especially early in the game when you have relatively weak weapons. Thought you were dead. He is now. Three of you in there? Alright, that's all the ones in that room. Eventually. You do get a damage bonus for sneak attacking, though. So when you're raiding a building, that's usually a good idea. If you can bring it off. But... oops. Made a mistake. I thought that was leading back into the same apartment, and apparently it's not. Well, that could have gone worse. There we go. These pictures on the wall often are concealing little cubbies where there's extra loot. So I tend to break all of those. These mirrors occasionally have one behind them too. So it tends to be the type of game where anything you can break, you should break. Ooh. I hear something dangerous out there. Is that coming from outside or higher up in the building? You didn't last long. There's a school bus in the basement. Okay. Oh, I see what I was hearing. That zombie is screaming at me. Those are a special zombie that I usually don't see very many of early in the game. I think this is the earliest I've ever seen one. Quit jumping around. Alright, I can say with a reasonable amount of certainty that these two units have been cleared of zombies, so now I'm going to start going through and looking through the containers to collect loot. And breaking the pictures that I forgot to break. I'm also going to chop up this chair and this bed. Those can provide some useful resources. That one gave me a lot of cloth and some scrap metal. For a lot of stuff, I'm not going to break down this lamp yet because I don't have a wrench. Wrenches let you harvest electrical components and certain other things from anything that's any object in the world that's electrical or mechanical. Like you can use them to break down little lamps like this, or cars that you find out in the world, and those give you parts that you can make into other useful things. Anything that's a container I leave so that loot can respawn in it. If I wait enough time between visits, I can come back later and loot this place again. I will have to kill all the zombies again, and they will be more dangerous. But things that are not containers, stuff like this little coffee table here, or this sofa, probably I would take out this desk too if there wasn't a lamp on top of it. Those don't have any particular value. You're not going to get anything out of them, and if you remove them, it makes the area a little bit clearer. You have clearer shots at any zombies that respawn, and zombies will respawn. I'm starving. I need to find something to eat soon. Well, let's eat our can of chili. That'll help. And then let's loot the kitchen. What I'm really hoping for is that this oven is going to give me a cooking pot. And it didn't. Just some scrap metal. Nope. The cabinet under the sink gave me a recipe, which is the recipe to make corn seeds. So now I'll be able to make corn seeds. Which is good. Corn is a valuable food source, but I still have to find some corn or some... You can find corn seeds in the world. I need to find either of those things before I can grow it still. The benefit of that recipe, though, is that if I find corn, I can turn it into seeds and grow more of my own. Without that recipe, I just have to wait until I find corn seeds and loot somewhere. Oh, and I got a recipe for hop seeds as well, which is useful for brewing beer, but I won't be able to do that for a while. Still, I'll read it. It'll save me from carrying it around. See if anything useful in the bookcase. Schematic for the wood splitter mod. Schematics also allow you to craft something. Mods are something that you can add to weapons or tools to make them more useful for a particular task. The wood splitter mod is a mod for an axe, as the name kind of implies, that makes it better at chopping down trees. So when I have an actual fire axe or something of that nature, I'll be able to add that to that axe and make it better for its intended purpose. I'm not sure if I can add it to a stone axe, but I can add a modifier to a mod to a stone axe. So potentially I could, but I don't have the actual mod right now. I just know how to make it, so I can't test that. Okay, that room is a lot clearer. I got some leather from that couch, which is good. I'm going to need quite a bit of that in the relatively near future. Which reminds me, I should break down this office chair, because that will also give me leather, and quite a bit of it. Nightstand. Leather duster and skull cap. Skull caps are relatively worthless, but the leather duster is one of my favorite pieces of clothing in the game. So that's an overcoat, so you can wear it with not only a regular shirt and pants, but also with armor, and it's pretty good. It gives you pretty good resistance to either hot or cold. Which at lower levels, which I am right now for the first 6 levels, like I mentioned in the first episode, you're protected from some of the effects of the weather. But those 6 levels go fast, and you need to start paying attention to what you're wearing after that. I found a wall safe. That is going to take me a long time to break through with a stone axe. Do I have any lockpicks? I do have 3 lockpicks, so maybe I can get it open that way. I don't have a lot of success with lockpicks in this game often, though, so my hopes are not high. As that wheel goes around, eventually probably the lockpick will break, and you'll have to try again. Apparently not this time, though. My luck is in today. Ooh, that's pretty good. Old cash can be sold to the traders. It doesn't really have any other function, but you get a slightly better than 1-to-1 ratio in converting that into the money that the traders actually trade you for. Barbed wire mod I can put on my club. And an iron sledgehammer is another weapon that I don't tend to use very much. I'm not sure how good they are at various things. In theory, they're good for breaking down doors. Maybe I'll try it right now, because I don't have a pickaxe yet. And that's what I would usually use. Alright, let's see if we're going to have better luck in this apartment. Nope, just coal. Some more lockpicks, which is helpful. Oh, there's what I was looking for. A cooking pot. Perfect. I thought that I was going to either wind up searching this building endlessly and not finding one, or having to try and find a particular point of interest that I know has cooking pots. But we are spared from that. Alright, I broke through a few more things in those apartments, but I am going to stop exploring now that I've found what I want. I need to go and find something else if I want to stay alive. On the bottom right of my hotbar, I have glass jars. I need to fill those with water if I want to be able to use this cooking pot to actually drink anything. So I found quite a bit of canned food in there, and I ate all of that, and that's got my my food back to a good spot. But I am still thirsty, which means I need to find somewhere to fill up those water bottles before I can get any use out of them. So let me check on the map here and see if I've passed anything so far. Not really. It started off in the snow. I could go back and get some snow and boil that into water. That might even be our best bet, but let me look around quickly in this town and see if I can spot a water tower. So if they're water towers of the right size, will actually have water in them in the game, and those are a good spot to fill up your glass jars so that you can get some water. I do not see one nearby, though. I tried out my sledgehammer there, but there's a reason I don't typically use them. They're very slow, and they use a lot of stamina. So I'm probably going to continue to not use them. What I will do is loot this pile of trash. Those are the game currency that you actually use with the traders, Duke's Casino tokens. So glad I found a few of those. Oh, I broke my club. I'll use my my bone knife. Ow. Finally. You will stop bleeding on your own eventually, but I tend not to chance it. Oh, well, I just stopped bleeding, but I'm going to make a bandage anyway. And I'm going to put that down on my hotbar, so that the next time the zombie gets me to start bleeding, I have something to deal with it. I'm also going to repair my club. I'm not seeing any water towers around, so I think that I am going to go get some snow. It's starting to get later in the day. I would like to start making my way back to my base. Oop, she dropped a nice big loot bag. Let's see what's in that. Ah, some water, some beer, and some more canned food. We can go ahead and drink that right away. I'm just going to add one more glass jar. That'll help out my thirst. Give me a little more time to run around looking for somewhere to fill up my jars. Alright, I'm back here at my base. I've stashed away some of the less useful things that I was carrying around. And now I'm going to throw this cooking pot into my campfire. And that should allow me to make some water. I have to put fuel in there though. Alright, that'll turn that into murky water, and then I'll have to boil it again to turn it into drinkable water. How much wood do I have? 235? That's not that much. So while that's cooking, I'm going to go cut down a couple of trees. Yeah, I hear you. Come over here and say that. I almost dropped a tree on you. Unfortunately, that wouldn't have had any effect on him anyway. The physics for the trees is not programmed to crush the things they land on. About time. Alright, my murky water is done, so now I can take that and use that to make good water. Now I better inspect in here and see what I have for food. I have some eggs and I have some animal meat. Let me just see here what I have the ability to make. Okay, the bacon and eggs recipe I have everything for, but it is locked. I don't know how to make that. I didn't find a schematic for it during my raid today, unfortunately. So that limits my options quite a bit. about all I can do is boil my eggs and char my meat. And neither of those are very good options, so what I'm probably going to do, since I leveled up today, is go ahead and spend the skill point that I got on the first level of, where is it here? Ah, it's in strength. I'm going to go ahead and spend that skill point on the first level of the Master Chef perk, which will unlock some of the most basic recipes, bacon and eggs being one of them. So that will now let me cook up my my animal meat and my eggs into something a little bit better than what I could do before. While I've got some meat left over, I need 2 eggs every time I make that recipe, which means I should spend the last little bit of light that I have maybe cutting down a few more trees, but also scouring for bird nests that I haven't already looted. Alright, I'm back at the base once again. Found a fair number of bird nests, and I found 2 more eggs. So I have enough to make 1 more bacon and eggs. At least if I get the meat out of my storage chest over here. Found a few other things while I was looting as well. Save the rest of that fuel for now. I might turn that back on when it gets dark, because it is very difficult to work in here with no flashlight. Usually in this game, as soon as I can find one, there's a mod called a helmet light that you can attach to just about any helmet, and there's a miner's helmet in the game which has a headlight or a headlamp already on it. So as soon as I find one of those, it'll be a lot easier to work through the nights, but until then I'm reliant on my 1 torch that I have on the wall behind me. Now, one of the things with the different kinds of food in this game is that every food is a food poisoning percentage, and that's your percentage chance of being or getting sick from the food or from eating this food. Just about every food that you make yourself has a 4% chance of giving you food poisoning. Anything that's canned has 0% chance. So some people prefer to rely on canned food when they can. I don't, because especially as things go along, you can see that this one improves your max stamina quite a bit more than that can of chili. Same thing with your health. And that tends to be the theme. 15 is about the most your max stamina will be raised from eating canned food. Your stamina is your blue bar over here. As you can see, it's only refilling to 52 of 103. How far it fills back up is governed by your max stamina. So when you start getting hungry, the amount of stamina you have available to you goes down. So I would rather eat foods that have a high max stamina and sell these canned foods to the trader. Because the sell price up in the corner, you have 12 for canned food, 14 for the bacon and eggs, but the bacon and eggs is much more valuable as far as being a food source. So I tend to accumulate canned food and sell it to a trader unless I eat it in an emergency when I'm running out of material to make other foods. That sound means that night has officially fallen. So I'm going to start continuing to dig on this, and if anything interesting happens during the night, I will cut back in then. Otherwise, I will cut back in right around 3 a.m. again to sign off. Well, that was frightening. That is a zombie dog that is trying to break down my door. Sounds like several of them, actually. Oh, nuts. Mistakes were made. Oh, that could have gone badly. Could still go badly. Looks like there are 2 of them. I only have 3 arrows. I didn't even kill one. And they are just about through my wall there. Apparently they're going to helpfully hold still while I finish them off, though. Okay, that one is now in my base. But he can't climb ladders. So he is actually just going to become useful resources for us. Same with this guy. I'm going to jump outside and skin him. I'm going to turn him into some leather, some animal fat, some bones, and some rotten flesh. Rotten flesh will be useful later in farming, so I'm going to take this opportunity to collect some of it. I did not know that the zombie dogs apparently can get through a 1-high gap. Now I know that. The Screamer zombies, the one that was jumping at me earlier in the episode, they can also get through a 1-high gap. But I already knew that about them. I did not know that about the zombie dogs. Oh, apparently that one's not all the way broken. Yep, that frame is still there. Okay. I believe I mentioned that this game has quite a bit more jump scare value than Minecraft. That's what I mean. Something else I forgot about that I was going to have to deal with tonight is this corner here is ready to be dug out. But this is the corner that has both my campfire and our ore deposit on it. So what I'm going to do is remove the cooking pot from the campfire before I dig it all. Then I'm going to dig under that. The campfire is going to immediately fall down and break, which is why I didn't leave the cooking pot in it. I only have the one. See? The physics there is a bit interesting, but what matters is that you can't pick your campfire back up. So now I'm going to move the campfire to this corner. I'm going to build another one and put that over there. And I'll go ahead and put the cooking pot back on it. You don't have to worry about putting a fire in a corner of a wooden structure like that in this game. In real life, that would probably burn your house down, but and in Minecraft, that potentially could burn your house down, but not in 7 Days to Die. Grab that torch back again. Put it down here, but next to our ore. And finally take that apart. This, I think I said in the first episode, is nitrate ore, which is going to be useful in making gunpowder. That little surface ore deposit sits above the deposits embedded in the ground, and usually it sits above a 2x2 patch of ore. Let's see if that's the case. Yep, okay. This one, the texture hadn't updated, so it still looked like regular ground. But this spot should have more nitrate ore under them. I'm going to mine that out right now, and then probably build the rest of my floor. Alright, we're getting on towards dawn, and I've got some patching to do on the base from those dogs. So this is where I'm going to sign off. I did not get as much digging done tonight as I did last night, because I got distracted by the dogs. But I did get the first little pieces of my ore deposit mined out, so I've got a good amount of nitrate powder in my inventory now. So that will be useful later. For now, that's where we're going to leave it for this episode. Next episode, I am probably going to try and get the stuff together to build a forge. I don't remember exactly what that requires. Hopefully I'm able to do it. I might have to go and gain enough experience to level up again, but it shouldn't be too difficult either way. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button if you did, subscribe to see more episodes, and if you want to help my channel grow, share it with your friends. Goodbye and God bless.